Today, Samsung took the wraps off their new flagship device for 2017. One of the most hotly anticipated devices of 2017, the S8 and S8 Plus are now official after a myriad of leaks coming into their event today. So the big difference between the S8 and the S8 Plus are screen size. Most of the other features, which we'll get to in a moment, overlap and are the same. So quickly, we'll start with the differentiating factors again, screen size. So the S8 has a 5.8-inch QHD, what they call HD Plus display. So what that is 2960 pixels by 1440 pixels, so it's a little bit longer than normal. And it has a Super AMOLED display with Gorilla Glass 5. That Super AMOLED technology and Gorilla Glass 5 are the same in both phones, but it's just the screen size itself that's different. And also something to note about the screen, it's actually a curved edge, so it'll include edge shortcuts like contacts that you had with the previous edge versions of the phone, but there's not really a need for that now that the curved edges are on both of these devices. The other difference between the two, besides screen size, is battery life. So the S8 has a 3000 milliamp hour battery. The S8 Plus has a 6.2-inch display with the same resolution and same screen QHD Plus Super AMOLED display. So slightly lower pixel density, but it seems to me that at such high PPIs, it really is not going to matter and still look incredibly good. The S8 Plus correspondingly has a higher battery at 3500 milliamp hours, although off the top of my head, I believe that's less than what the previous S7 Plus had in terms of battery life. But Samsung has assured us that they will not be blowing up like the Note 7, so of course we'll be cautiously optimistic about that. The big thing to talk about with regards to the display and the design has to do with the infinity display. Samsung really made a big push as one of the first carriers to really try to go with narrow, bezel-less phones. Certainly we're not quite at the point yet with the S8 or any other phone really that the front of the device is just the screen and that's it. But the S8 makes significant improvements towards that. It's pretty close to a borderless display. One thing that I find very interesting when you compare the S8 and iPhone 7, for example. Again, the S8 has a 5.8-inch display, iPhone 7, 4.7-inch. But when you look at the actual dimensions of the device, the S8 is 148.9 millimeters by 68.1 millimeters by 8 millimeters and is 155 grams in mass. The iPhone 7 is 138.3 millimeters by 67.1 millimeters by 7.1 millimeters at 138 grams. So obviously the iPhone 7 is a little bit smaller in every way, but the screen size, the display itself is significantly smaller. The fact that when you get rid of a lot of these bezels, you're still able to keep a device that's almost as pocketable as a 4.7-inch product is incredibly exciting to me. I've read a lot of rumors about the S8 coming into this event, and of course the iPhone 8 or iPhone Pro, whatever it's called. It makes me very nervous when I'm starting to see phones that at the smaller size, it's 5.8 inches or 5.5 or something like that. I currently have an iPhone 7, 4.7-inch device. That's kind of at the top of the spectrum for me with respect to how big I want my phone to be. It's supposed to be portable, and I use my phone a lot just one-handed. In fact, I've considered downgrading to an iPhone SE for a smaller form factor. The fact of the matter is, if we can get screen sizes that are bigger but actually keep the sizes the same, that's going to make it a lot more pocketable for a lot more consumers. The other big change, of course, is that there's no physical button on the front of the Galaxy S8, but there is a virtual home button similar to Apple's Force Touch that they have on the iPhone 7. Doesn't really work quite as well, kind of just feels like it's vibrating, but that's there. So pretty much the rest of the features are the same between both products. In terms of the processor, Snapdragon 835 processor, both have 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of built-in storage with micro SD support, up to 256 gigabytes, I believe, is right now what's supported. The cameras, the rear-facing camera might be the thing that kind of disappointed me the most. It's a 12-megapixel dual-pixel rear camera with optical image stabilization, but it's pretty much the same camera that was on the S7 last year's model, so that's slightly disappointing. The front-facing camera is improved though, 8 megapixels front-facing camera. It's IP68 dust and water resistant, so very good with respect to getting it wet and still working. It has fast charging, it has wireless charging, and it charges via USB-C, So depending on what other products you have, it's the same USB-C cord you may use for your laptop, for instance, or other devices. There's an iris scanner with facial recognition technology on the front, and apparently that works very, very well, and it's very quick. There's still a fingerprint sensor, but as I mentioned, there's no button on the front, so they actually moved it around to the back of the device, around where the camera is. That's kind of a trade-off to get the bezel-less and full screen that they wanted on the front. Seems like kind of a weird place to have the fingerprint scanner to me, but that was a trade-off that was made. It'll ship with the latest version of Android 7, and it'll also include Bixby, I hope I'm saying that right, which is Samsung's new advanced artificial intelligent assistant. It is really strong with respect to contextual awareness, which will make it work a lot better. What's also really interesting is it has image recognition technology, so theoretically in my mind that would mean, I'm shopping in a store, I see a product, I can just hold it up and it can tell me information about the product that it sees, whether I'm shopping, whether I have a product that I currently own, whether I'm walking down the street. Seems like a really good solution. There's also the Samsung DeX docking station technology that will be supported by the S8 and S8 Plus. Basically what this allows you to do is use your phone as a desktop, similar to Microsoft's Continuum features. I've yet to kind of see this implemented in a way that makes it really worthwhile and makes, me really not want to have a computer or desktop, and maybe someone who's using a computer like I am will never have it replaced by their cell phone. It seems like they're making strides towards that direction. It makes a lot of sense to me that you might be able to one day have just a mobile device that, does all your features for you. Not sure that the DeX docking station is quite there yet, but it is an option. In the United States, this will be released on April 21st and will come in black, gray, and silver color options. Pre-orders start on March 30th, which I believe is tomorrow. And what's really interesting is that pre-orders for a limited time will include next generation Gear VR headset with a wireless remote, which is pretty exciting. It'll give you that option to kind of get into that VR space if it's something that you've been interested in but didn't really want to jump in and pay separately for. That'll be available as included with your pre-order, which is pretty exciting. So that is a quick look at the new Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus, Samsung's new flagship devices for 2017. If you liked this recap, make sure you give it a thumbs up so I know that it was something that was worthwhile to you. And if you haven't subscribed already, please click subscribe. It'll really help me out, and it'll make sure that all my content, whether it's recap videos like this or reviews, tips, come right to your YouTube homepage. Thanks for watching.